All right, welcome back to Sunrise. Well, earlier this morning, we heard the governor of Rivers State, where he was talking about how some policemen were trying to cut away election materials. I mean, we played that moments ago, and then he did use some very strong words for the judgment that was handed down, calling them fraudulent, and then he also did say use some strong words for the IGP as well. But at the moment, there seems to be some real palpable tension in Rivers ahead of the elections that is supposed to hold tomorrow. I use that because, a different perspective on these matters. We've got Mr. John Ule, the legal practitioner, joining us now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today on the program. Now, there are different things happening so quick and fast, as I was trying to just lay that background, because earlier, different groups holding on to different judgments in court saying elections, local government elections cannot hold. Some say no, it will hold. And then the narrative about the register. And this morning the governor was saying, look, what do we need the register for? And then some said there was no, even if we spoke about the register, it did not preclude, it didn't say stop the elections. And so this morning, different groups are digging their heels in with their boys or thugs, as it were, trying to, of course, enforce whatever it is that whoever it is telling them to do what. So from your perspective, the law appears to be, law appears to be on trial here, because different judgments have been handed down and people are saying, no, this is fraudulent. We can't obey this one. We will obey this, interpreting it in their own way, even with lawyers advising them as such. So tell us, what do you think because if the elections hold tomorrow, will they say it's legal? Will some people say, won't they say it's in violation of the earlier judgments? Where do we go from here?
Good morning, Chamberlain, and good morning to the whole Channels TV family. Thanks for having me. We're at another crossroads in respect of Rivers State. Over the years, I've had the opportunity given by channels to comment on Rivers State issues, political issues. Every time, since 1999, there has never been peaceful transition. There's always somebody fighting another over issues, the most basic issue of life in Nigeria today, voting. It is very sad that I belong to an industry that's actually being used or allowing itself to be used to trample upon the desires of the population. You cannot begin to explain how different courts, this is something that's been happening over time. There will be an order handed down by the Federal High Court. The State High Court will give its own order. There are very clear distinctions. You know which court has jurisdiction. You know which court has no jurisdiction. And yet, the same Federal High Court exists in Rivers State, in Port Harcourt there, where you can get whatever orders or whatever kind of justice you want, presumably good ones. But yet, people will go to Federal High Court Abuja to go and get their orders. The people in Port Harcourt will go to the State High Court in Rivers State to get their own orders in respect of one election. Definitely, somebody is misinterpreting the law. I have always said it. The law is very clear. We all know, most lawyers are assumed. It will be very sad for me to say some lawyers know the law. A lawyer is presumed to know the law. And that's why other people come to us to explain to them their rights. Now, when a lawyer, a very, very high-ranking member of the bar goes to court to ask court for orders that he knows the court has no jurisdiction to give, it is sad. And when a lawyer goes to court to get an order that he knows will truncate the advancement of democratic tenets, it is very sad. But unfortunately, the court will not sanction anybody. The disciplinary bodies will not sanction anybody because the rule of law in Nigeria is not the same as for everybody. Now, this Rivers State say, look at it. They say Justice Leaf who gave an order that says no elections. Justice Igwe in Rivers State gave an order that says the elections must go on willy-nilly. INEC says, I have not released the voters register that will be used to conduct these elections. The Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission says No, you are lying. We can go on with this. Then there's another story that says 17 out of 18 parties have subscribed. They said they want to go on with the election. And which party is saying, no, we are not going on? According to reports, PDP. Fubara says, I'm still PDP. And the elections are going on. So it declares 2 days of public holiday so that people can travel to the interland to vote in these elections that is scheduled to hold on tomorrow. And this morning we heard that some policemen tried to impound electoral materials. And then another court issues from 48 that if you do not comply with my order, I think that's the High Court, you are liable for contempt. Now, we all must ask ourselves, every time in the report we hear pro Wike, pro Fubara, pro INEC, pro Abuja, pro APC, pro PDP. Who is pro River State people? Nobody is working to advance the interest of the people. It is about personal interests. The law is as clear as day after night. It is the personality clashes. It is the ego issues, personal vendetta of the actors in the political sector that is putting the interest of River State in jeopardy. I dare say that all these things are mere shenanigans, and it is better that something gets done. Somebody must go above the fray. Somebody must come up. It may be, this should be exclusively a state thing. They are quoting a Supreme Court judgment that says, by October 15th, there should be no ad hoc committees in charge of local government. You and I know that the reason why the governor is interested in conducting the election is so as he can put his own, I'm sorry to say, but he wants to be in control. He wants to have full control. Anybody in control of the local government is in control of the state. And the people who are fighting him, they don't want the elections now because they are not ready. The machinery they need to put in place to ensure that they seize control of the local government, they are not yet in place. It took a lot to displace the former chairman, that is the new governor, to get them out of the place. Now he wants to put his own people there. The truth must be told. This is not about River State. Somebody this morning, I saw another a post, a video post by somebody in River State saying, as of last night, some people were trying to file an application before the Federal High Court in Rivers and Abuja to get an order withholding the allocation, the revenue allocation to River State. Why? So that the governor cannot continue to work unless and until he's ready to beg. Now, how will that advance the cause of Rivers and its people? Chamberlain, truth must be told. Nigeria is at crossroads. It is not about Rivers. Is just an example of what is going on everywhere else. It is not about performance anymore. It is about holding the jugular of where you are, your own corner of the Nigerian society, and ensuring that you have a kingdom there. This is about kingdom seizure. Okay. And I dare say the River State people will suffer the loss.
If I could just ask you, because there were persons too who were also trying to tell us that, wait a minute, you people missed out that there's I think he said an APP, a decision against APP leadership, saying no, some people came into APP at the last minute and then you want to impose them and say they are the candidates, that no, they're supposed to be the people who are said to be the local government chairman. So when did they become APP flag bearer? And then they say, look, and by the way, the foundation was that the Supreme Court has said no local governments, you can't have caretaker committee. And so if you do that, you don't get any funds. And so they thought that was the crux of the matter. But if we say, for instance, assuming these elections go on Saturday, will all the cases that have been filed, or what then becomes of the position of the law if this election go on?
It's a catch-22 scenario. You have a situation where elections are being, even if the elections go on tomorrow, you all know that, you see, there's a banana peel already. And it's a political gimmick. It's something our politicians have learned how to use well over the years. It means the elections are already in jeopardy. If it goes on, it depends on who controls or who has better access to the judiciary. That's what I mean. A lot of people say, oh, this is the elections in Nigeria, they are not won and lost at the polling centers. They are won and lost at the counting centers. But you see, the politicians have even taken it a step further. You don't win and lose even at the counting centers. They prepare the banana peel. Long you hear of pre-election matters, post-election matters, and then the courts have not helped. The laws regulating, the judicial pronouncement on elections in Nigeria, you cannot say, they remain in a state of flux because it depends on who is approaching the court. You have a situation where a particular governorship election, they will say, oh, this person has won. I don't want to name names because we are talking about Rivers. But you know as well as I do that there are certain judgments that they have even said is not going to be a precedent to be followed. It's for this specific purpose alone. So now you have, after contesting election, spending money, the River State people's money, after it's been spent, they will then go back to court. Then there will be a conflict of laws, as we say in law practice. What do I mean? This one will bring a judgment of the Federal High Court. That one will bring a judgment of the State High Court. That one will bring the one from Abuja, the one from River State. And then it will get to Court of Appeal. And then the Court of Appeal will then begin to say, oh, which one is superior? Because that's the way we should look at it. Which one, it used to be, which one was first in time? Or which one was later? When I enter law practice, they will say, oh, the latest judgment of the Supreme Court, for instance, is the one you follow, where there are two conflicting decisions of the Supreme Court. That used to be the law. But now, different panels of all these courts will choose the one they like. That's when they will say, oh, this one was first in time. And the order that came after it ought not to have, been pronounced because there was one. If that court had parted its mind to the existence of that, to a subsisting order, it would not have made this order. And then we begin to play the board game, chess, of, okay, we eliminate this, we eliminate that. At that point, there is room for the judiciary to maneuver to favor whoever it wants to favor. It's about discretion. It's no longer about law. So, like you have said, all these rulings, all these orders, all these judgments, they are the banana peels, the catch-22. When the chips are down and it gets to Supreme Court, there is going to be a lot of conflict. And then the Supreme Court, that can never be wrong in Nigeria, will then choose the one that is in sync with the desires of the winning party. And at that point, the winning party will say, oh, this is what justice means. Different interpretations for justice. Oh, the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. The losing party will say, oh, the judiciary is corrupt. That is the situation we have now. It is time for the judiciary to redeem itself. The organ of government that will save Nigeria from this precipice is the judiciary. At some point in time, the judiciary must begin to tell the politicians, no, you cannot come to us to put our imprimatur on that which is palpably bad. We are not going to sanction all these your moves that you do in anticipation of a favorable decision at the apex court. It has to stop. Some of these cases ought not to even get to the Supreme Court. Some of us lawyers who practice otherwise than as election law practitioners, our cases are not being heard. Because every election cycle, they'll say, oh, there's a time bar. We have to finish all the election petitions. Now, they finished presidential, governorship, local government, they have started their own. And they will find a way, we lawyers will find a way to push these matters up to Supreme Court, thereby disturbing those of us who do not live on election petitions alone. I must say that. So it is very sad. All these things that are happening, they are just preparation for the final tango at the apex court. And it is very sad. And I believe that, well, we thank God for the new CJN. I believe that she's well enabled to begin to nip all this nonsense in the bud. It has got to stop. We are being mocked. The legal practice, the judiciary in Nigeria, nobody respects anything again. You get an order from a court, even in relation to divorce, and you find embassies will scrutinize it. They would even tell you, they overrule our judges now. When you present a document, a court order, to embassies, they will tell you that, I mean, they are not even certain it's genuine, even when it is genuine. And then when they go back there to check, they will tell you that, okay, we have checked. But I mean, why? I witnessed a judge saying, how can an embassy official teach me my job? Is it not sad? So that is it. It's a banana peel. And they are putting things in place. They are putting things, the midfielders are playing now. It's a game of soccer now. The midfielder, the holding midfielder, the attacking midfielder, they are all there now, ready. And then the avalanche of cases will start.
Which is really, really, really sad, as you've said. And apparently, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the new Chief Justice, Kudirat Kekereekun, now has her work clearly cut out for her. But I want to, at the heart of it, you said this is about kingdom seizure. That's what you said. And some people will say it's because we all know the outcome of local government elections. It has not changed. Since we have started seeing the conduct of local government elections, especially in the wake of this declaration of autonomy for local governments, we've seen that every single state that has conducted elections, the party of the governor in that state has taken all the seats. And we know that that has always been the status quo with regards to the country. So it would seem that, the quest here, or the battle here, is to ensure that that doesn't happen in Rivers State. Isn't that swimming against the tide? Because we know, not because people love the ruling party in any state, even in the states that, their governors seem to be professing democracy. You always find that even when they too conduct elections in their state, almost all the seats are swept away by the party of the governor. And they say, well, we won. They always claim that they won. And sometimes you find out that the opposing party never contests. I mean, they don't even participate in elections because they don't trust in the process. So isn't that what we're witnessing here? Isn't that what has really gotten to a head here in Rivers State, where we're witnessing this? And is there any way we can correct that? If we're able to correct that, will we have a situation like this in Rivers?
Margaret, thank you. I mean, you got it right. I mean, I always tell people, the Nigerian problem is not about law or its application. It's about we as a people. It's about the elites, the political class, believing that, look, democracy has a Nigerian definition. You see, the Nigerian politician does not practice democracy as obtained in most other places. I'm not saying democracy is 100%, it's perfect. It's never perfect anywhere. I mean, there are ways and means of ensuring that you sway people to the side of the ruling party always wants to win. I mean, we see America gerrymandering, all those things. They do all these things. But you see, the Nigerian situation is very peculiar. The politicians have gotten away with murder all the time. They have found a way to corrupt the legislative houses. They have found, this River State situation is just out of this world. I mean, you have a situation where a whole legislative house was demolished because there was a fight between the governor and, I looked at it, you demolish an edifice that had been standing probably before you were born because you didn't want people to see. The same thing is happening. The average politician, you see a situation where, yes, the government of the day is not performing. It's below par, it's below zero. And then in the next election, local government election or whatever election, runoff election, they win 100% of the votes. How do you begin to explain that? But then, the government at the center now is winning here and there. And then there is a state, because the state matters. This is not just about revenue allocation. It's also about 2027. The government in power cannot broach any opposition from Rivers State because Rivers State is a very sensitive hotbed. And in order to win, Rivers State is the golden fish. So yes, it may appear like so the people are swimming against the tide. But like I always say, the people in Abuja, the people in government house in Rivers, they won't be on the streets rigging, fighting, manipulating election results. They use people like you and I to do all these things. And they are always susceptible. You know, what happens to just vote, coming out to vote? I mean, right now, what is going to happen is voter apathy. The politicians know what they are doing. People will not come out because they will be afraid of violence. When they don't come out, their thugs will come out. They will fight. Some people will die. In the presidential and governorship election, you remember a lot of people died in Rivers State. Who has been prosecuted? Who has been sanctioned? Nobody. There is never any sanction after the event in Nigeria. It depends on where you belong after the action. Even if you kill people and you jump into the winning party, automatically you are sanction free. So right now, the fight for Rivers is not just about revenue. It is also about 2027. The person in control of Rivers must belong to a particular party. So both sides are swimming against the tide. Unfortunately, the people are going to just stand arms akimbo. They are going to be watching. We're getting to a situation where in future, Nigerians won't even be coming out to vote anymore. The voter apathy is terrible. Wow. People like myself, I've always voted. I've almost made up my mind now that voting, I mean, a lot of people will tell me that, why are you wasting your time? Some still tell me now, when they tell me, all the votes, what happened? Where did it go? And I will tell them, the votes that did not vote, see where it has led us. and God help you. I mean, many of us who talk every day on TV, that we even have an opportunity to talk to you on TV, says that we are mostly comfortable. We are not hungry. You understand? We keep on talking and talking. We are even getting tired of talking. Do you understand? Because I am okay. During Buhari era, I mean, I was blessed. Tinubu era, I am being blessed. The people who keep coming to you for help, they will go out again and vote, and they will call you a bastard for not voting for your kinsman. It is very sad. We're in a very pathetic state. But yes, all of us are swimming against the tide. But I tell you this, the day the Nigerian judiciary begins, and I tell you this also, Justice Kekere is somebody that we all respect. Not because she's a woman, not because she's cerebral, but because we know she's upright. And I believe that she might just be the beginning of a new beginning for this country. By the grace of God, if she handles the judiciary well. I hate to say by the grace of God, because I always tell people, Nigeria's problem is not from God. It's not of God. And for as long as we keep praying and praying and praying, people do night video and all that, it's not going to help us. We need to take the destiny of this country in our hands. And let us just hope that Justice Kekere will begin to clean up the judiciary, such that when judges issue the kind of orders, overnight orders, she will rise up to the occasion and sanction anybody who wants to be sanctioned. And when lawyers also bring such applications, I mean, if a judge is sanctioned, other judges will know that when lawyers bring useless applications before them, they must treat the lawyer like a useless person.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people will be looking to see. So for this particular case, they will wait to watch and see, will the judiciary be strong on the weak and weak on the strong? So I guess time will tell. Well, we do thank you for your time as always, Mr. John Oluyede. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much.